Okay, we have more things from Buffalo Dingus to borrow. He first lent me this titanium Kraken, and this is a nice BRS case. It's all right. It's got some foam that pops out that I hope is intentional. And in here we have, what the fuck is this? All right, well, we have the Heed Seaknight. Now, oopsies, hello. The Heed Seaknight is not a super necessarily well known Balisong. I've heard people compare it to the Alpha Beast or the Chab, which, is the Channel Alpha Beast. Included is also, weird proprietary screws. Highly unfortunate. Not a fan. They look cool, but anything that needs a proprietary bit for, which I was provided with, that's a pain in the ass. The Okay, so I know that these are weights, and you can move them up or down and fuck around with the weight distribution. These are on tank pins. There is a latch for this. I don't think he included the latch, which is fine. And I think this is T8 hardware. Now, I will say the thing about the Heat C-Night, probably one of the things that made me the most interested in it, the name. I just think C-Night's cool. But I guess let's give this away before we flip it. Let's see. 4.76. So it's up there. I understand why people compare this to the Alpha Beast. I have flipped an Alpha Beast before, but I do. This is actually pretty. Well, is this neutral? Yeah, this feels pretty neutral. I actually also really like this sort of harpoon blade. It's like this drop point, but has like this harpoon spine. Spine's very nice and rounded. How sharp this is? Oh, that's sharp. That's definitely sharp enough to cut. It's on tang pins, which some people might not like, but I don't know. It says Heed Industries. Yes, I do not think this is currently in production, and perfectly honestly, there is not a demand for this knife. I remember theoretically possibly going to try and buy one from Major Rallis, and it was just like, do I really want one? I don't know. It's still a lot of money. Like, even going on 200 something dollars, like, that's still a lot of money. These grooves are really nice and rounded. You don't really feel them. I find that a lot of times these sort of textures can be harsh or whatever, but it's actually incredibly smooth and comfortable-ish. It's still like a big groove, so like you're still kind of clamping onto, a canyon. Because this is on tang pins, I find that chaplains have that little bit of weirdness feeling because you are on the tang cup right here. Uh, there is sometimes the opposite where you have the Zen cup that makes it uncomfortable, such as this Beagler where I actually sanded down the Zen cups because look at how fucking enormous this is. Inversely, these are actually incredibly reasonable tang cups, but there's always a little bit of weirdness to be aware of. Chaplin's perfectly fine though. Yeah, I don't know if I would own one of these. Like if I came across a good deal on one of these, I would. But not a lot of people have them. There's not a lot of demand for them. They are not too dissimilar from an Alpha Beast. Um, the tune on this is it's okay. I'll give a real quick attempt to tighten this, but I don't want to break this. It's not mine. I am tempted to mess around with the weights, but also, frankly, like it's all the way up and all the way down, and moving them up and down further, I'm not entirely sure how much that could possibly affect the weight distribution. I know that there's a big conversation about how balance and weight distribution are not the same, but even so, like how much of it can really change? We will find out. Okay, sorry. Oh, hello. Ooh, shit. Wow, this hardware sucks. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Buffalo. Just trying to give it a Titan, and this fucking hardware is like borderline stripping a little bit. Yeah, I'm scared. I don't want to fuck with this too much. Again, it's... Hold on, let me just make sure I didn't fuck with the handle swing. Okay, it's all good. Tune is no better than it was before, but, you know, it is what it is. So, sorry, let me put this real quick. I would hate to lose this. I'm just gonna put this back here. I guess the thing about this is that, again, it's hard to find. If you were really, really interested in one of these, you could probably get a good deal. But again, there's not a lot of them. You might be able to bargain for it. And the MSRP, I'm not entirely sure. I might be able to find, but they haven't been in production. And so their secondhand value is dismally lower. That said, they're fine. This is fine. And I am possibly going to mess with the weights. I've seen them kind of in the middle before. I don't know. The weights are... Yeah. There's these H's, which are a little less cool looking, because it's just like, well, that's just the company logo. It's just H's and these little sort of circles. It just looks like hydrogen atoms or whatever the fuck. But they're very smooth and comfortable. Actually, really comfortable. I think just the biggest weirdness about it is that these kind of just feel like 4 cylinders over here. Like 1, 2, and then of course 3, 4. And so when you're handling this center section, it just kind of feels like 4 sticks that aren't really connected. Like, it kind of feels connected, but I don't know. It feels a little odd. It's not bad though. I certainly think this is a perfectly fine and reasonable Balisong, but unfortunately, Balisongs are such an expensive and niche hobby that unless you're blowing people out of the water, like a $400+ Balisong is not necessarily going to break even. So Heed, whatever else they may make, I assume other knives, probably just gave up. You know, there are plenty of other companies that have done Balisongs, like Benchmade, of course, was one of the first companies to make Balisongs, and modern day standards of Benchmades are not super great. That was a noise that I did not expect. So. Spider Co. has some odd Balisongs. Okay, everything seems to be fine. Good. What else? Kershaw's Balisongs, by all intents and purposes, are not good flippers. So if Heed is a knife company that has made other knives, and if this is their first Balisong, this is actually really solid. This is actually, you know, it's hefty, but not unwieldy. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. It doesn't feel like I'm flinging a lot of material. You know, it does certainly feel on the heftier side, but not uncomfortably so. I've definitely flipped knives that weighed about this much and felt less agile and less fluid and more bulky. So, yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like this is ever going to make a comeback, which is too bad because I think it's decent. I've flipped more Balisongs that I've had much less to say. Ow! Yeah, that's probably going to be the end of this video. I just bit myself real bad. So, thank you again to Buffalo Dingus for lending me the Heed Seaknight, the Heed Industries Seaknight. It is probably hard to find. I don't think a lot of these are surfacing up naturally on the marketplace, but if you're interested, you can just go to Balisong Market, which hopefully I can eventually access again, because I don't know why I still can't access it. They claim that I'm not blocked, but sometimes Instagram is fucking weird, you know. But yeah, you can go to @Balisong Market, tag them in a story, and say in search of or ISO Heed Seaknight, and I'm sure someone will be willing to pawn theirs off onto you. But yeah, it is also a titanium blade, a titanium Balisong. The blade is almost definitely steel. So you can get some really cool anodizations. I've seen gorgeous stuff from Major Rallis. And yeah, I guess the comparisons, I don't own an Alpha Beast and I don't really have any interest in it. I also really dislike the three grooves up here. So if you're like me and you find that you're sensitive to like weird rough textures, this is certainly a lot softer up here. The texture down here is certainly um what's the word? Like, it's fine. It's not uncomfortable. It's not rough. It's not coarse. It's just the dimensions of it being sort of these rounded corners that just make it feel like four sticks. That's a little odd feeling, but not like not not a deal breaker. So yeah, if you like the feeling of flipping an Alpha Beast but don't like the texture of it, this could be a very good alternative for you. And you could honestly get it for a real deal, based off of how well you can negotiate or how well people are willing to move for it. But yeah, that's going to be it for me for this. Thank you again, Buffalo Dingus. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends I say hi. Or don't. I don't know. Maybe they hate me. If they do, that's not my problem. But yeah, well, let me know your thoughts in the comment. If you have ever flipped a CD. Oh, I actually didn't even realize. Like, it's interesting how like octagonal this is. That's kind of cool. I don't think you can get pinched by that. That would be really hard to get pinched by. But yeah, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are if you flipped one of these. Non-existent horns and like the Zen. I mean, it's not a point, so you can't really get pinched. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. And if you have a dog, tell your dog that I love your dog.